It arrived on a Tuesday, always a quiet day in the Ministry of Finance. No press briefings, no parliamentary sessions, just the soft hum of printers and the faint smell of overcooked tea. The envelope was plain, cream-colored, with no logo, no seal. Only a name written neatly in blue ink. Ayan Qureshi, Senior Policy Analyst, Revenue Division. Ayan almost tossed it aside. Anonymous mail usually meant conspiracy theories, handwritten rants, or impractical solutions, dreamed up at 3 a.m. But something about the handwriting, steady, deliberate, made him pause. Inside was a single sheet of paper. At the top, in bold letters, "This simple plan could change taxes forever." Below it, just 3 lines. Tax behavior, not income. Automate trust, not enforcement. Make taxes invisible. At the bottom, if you want the full model, meet me Friday, 6 p.m., Old City Library. Ayan leaned back in his chair, frowning. It sounded like nonsense. Or brilliance. Sometimes the two arrived dressed the same. The problem everyone avoided. Taxes were broken. Everyone knew it, but no one said it out loud. Governments raised rates, citizens resisted. Audits multiplied. Compliance costs ballooned. The rich hired accountants, the poor paid penalties. Every reform promised fairness and delivered paperwork. Ayan had spent 10 years analyzing data that told the same story in different colors. Higher enforcement increased resentment. Simplification helped briefly, then loopholes appeared. Trust was low, and fear did the heavy lifting. What if, he often wondered, the problem isn't the rate, but the relationship? That Friday, against his better judgment, he went to the library. The architect of the idea. She was already there. Mid-30s, maybe. Calm eyes. No laptop, no files. Just a notebook and a pencil. "You're late," she said, smiling. "You sent an anonymous letter," Ayan replied. "You're lucky I came at all." She extended her hand. "My name is Sarah Malik. I design systems. Mostly ones people don't like." "Taxes," he guessed. "Human behavior," she corrected. "Taxes are just a symptom." They sat near a dusty window as evening light cut across rows of forgotten books. "You wrote 3 lines," Ayan said. "They're vague. They're precise," Sarah replied. "You just haven't connected them yet." The core insight. Sarah leaned forward. "Let me ask you something. Why do people hate taxes? Because they lose money." "No," she said gently. "They hate paying taxes. They hate the moment of loss." She continued, "People happily pay more for things they don't notice. Subscription services, automatic deductions, embedded costs. Pain disappears when friction disappears." Ayan nodded slowly. Behavioral Economics 101. "Now imagine," she said, "a tax system where no one files, no one calculates, and no one fears." "That's impossible. It's inevitable," she said. "We just haven't been brave enough." The simple plan. Sarah opened her notebook and drew 3 circles. Circle 1. Behavior-based taxation. Income is noisy, she explained. Easy to hide, shift, or manipulate. But behavior, consumption, resource usage, environmental impact, is visible. Instead of taxing how much people earned, the system taxed how they interacted with the economy. Luxury consumption. Higher marginal micro-taxes. Resource-heavy behavior. Environmental usage fees. High-frequency speculative trades. Stability taxes. No forms, she said. Just signals. Circle 2. Automated trust. The system assumes honesty, Sarah continued. Not guilt. Taxes were collected at transaction points, banks, retailers, digital platforms, using transparent algorithms approved publicly. Citizens received real-time dashboards showing what they contributed, where it went, what services it funded. When people see value, she said, compliance becomes voluntary. Circle 3. Invisible taxes. Most importantly, Sarah said, tapping the final circle, taxes disappear from consciousness. No annual filing, no deadlines, no panic. Tiny, distributed contributions, like grains of sand forming a road. You don't feel a road beneath your feet, she said. But it carries you. Resistance. Ayan was stunned. Not because it was flashy, but because it was simple. Why hasn't anyone done this? He asked. Sarah laughed. Because complexity is power. Entire industries survive on confusion. Accountants, consultants, middlemen, Politicians who thrived on selective exemptions. And fear, she added. Fear keeps people obedient. Trust feels risky. The leak. Ion didn't mean to leak it. He shared the model with one colleague. She shared it with another. Within a week, an anonymous summary appeared online. Headlines exploded. Radical tax proposal could end filing forever. Invisible taxes. Genius or government control. Is this the end of income tax? Debates erupted on television. Economists argued. Politicians panicked. And citizens, ordinary people, leaned in. For the first time, a tax proposal didn't feel like punishment. It felt like relief. The trial city. The government resisted, until one mid-sized city volunteered. Crumbling infrastructure. Low compliance. High debt. They had nothing to lose. The pilot ran quietly. Within 6 months, compliance rose by 28%. Administrative costs fell by half. Small businesses reported less stress. Citizens checked their tax dashboards more than social media. No raids. No threats. No slogans. Just quiet participation. The turning point. The moment that changed everything wasn't economic. It was emotional. An elderly shopkeeper was interviewed on local news. Before, he said, tax felt like theft. Now it feels like contribution. That clip went viral. Trust, it turned out, was contagious. The backlash. Not everyone was happy. Large corporations lobbied fiercely. Behavior taxes threatened optimized loopholes. Political figures warned of algorithmic overreach. Sarah received threats. Ion was reassigned. But the data was relentless. When people weren't treated like criminals, they acted like citizens. A new normal. 5 years later, tax filing was something children learned about in history class. What's an audit? One asked. A teacher smiled. Something governments used to do when they didn't trust people. The system wasn't perfect. No system ever was. But it was human. The quiet revolution. Sarah never took credit. She returned to designing systems. Ion wrote one final report before retiring. The title read, "Trust is the most profitable tax policy ever invented." And somewhere, in a future city humming with quiet efficiency, no one noticed their taxes being paid. Which was exactly the point.